On this episode of Let's Explore This, we are going to be touring Birdtown. Birdtown is located along Highway 19 in Swain County, approximately halfway between Cherokee and Elah. Birdtown has noted Native American heritage and is believed to be named after one of the 7 clans of the Cherokee. Before we delve any deeper into Birdtown, let me just begin by saying that this is mostly going to be a driving kind of video. Why? Well, because here in Birdtown, it is nothing more than a residential community. There is, however, the exception of a church and a complex along the main road. There really is not even a place to pull over on a drive through the heart of the community. With that said, let's get this thing on the road. The most important and fundamental structure of the Cherokee society of antiquity was the clan. The clan was family for the Cherokee. Those of the same clan were not allowed to marry. The Cherokee was a matrilineal society, therefore clanship came from one another. One's clan defined who he or she was, what he or she would become, and how he or she would behave. The Cherokee, in fact, had 7 clans. There was the Potato Clan, the Deer Clan, the Long Hair Clan, and many others. Since this region is named Birdtown, here we are going to be discussing the Bird Clan. The Cherokee had great respect for all living things and tried to live in harmony with them. In regards to the Deer Clan, for example, a hunter would apologize to the deer before killing it, and that hunter would then explain why he needed the meat to feed his family. The same held true for birds. The Bird Clan was responsible for keeping the birds. It was believed that birds were the messengers between the world, I guess what could be called the main world, and the upper world, or between human beings and the spirits. Therefore, the Bird Clan were usually called upon to be the messengers for the village. They were keen observers and adept at interpreting the message brought to dreams by birds. Only the Bird Clan was allowed to provide bird feathers for the tribe. The most sacred bird for the Cherokee was the eagle. Its feathers were considered sacred and vital to many ceremonies, especially anything relating to war. In ancient times, killing the eagle for its feather involved the entire village, but it could only be done under the tutelage of the Bird Clan and conducted by only one special individual, the eagle killer. He was trained in the proper method for killing an eagle. The eagle had to be killed only in winter or late fall, after the crops were gathered and snakes were confined to their dens. If an eagle was killed in summer, an early frost would kill the corn. An eagle dance would so rile up the snakes that they would become extremely dangerous. When an eagle killer was called in, he would set out alone with his bow and arrows into the mountains. There he would pray and fast for 4 days. Then he would hunt down and kill a deer. He would carry the carcass to an exposed area on a cliff. Then he would hide and chant softly the song to call in the eagle. When the eagle landed on the carcass, the eagle killer would shoot it with an arrow. He would then pray to it to not seek vengeance on his tribe. In later times, he would tell the dead bird that a Spaniard had killed him, not a Cherokee. Then he would return to the village and proclaim that he had killed a snowbird to ensure against the vengeance of any eagles that might overhear. Then, finally, he would return home, as his work was completed. The villagers would wait for 4 days to allow the insect parasites time to leave the carcass. Then a delegation would go to the cliff, skin the deer, remove the feathers from the eagle, and wrap them in the fresh deer skin. Both carcasses were left as a sacrifice to the eagle's spirits. The feathers were placed in a special feather but near the dance field. There a special dish of venison and corn was provided to feed the hungry feathers. That night the eagle dance was performed. In addition to bow and arrow, the bird clan were skilled in using blowguns and snares for hunting birds. It is believed that the bird clan was once 3 clans, since the clan had 3 subdivisions. Those were the eagle, the turtle dove, and the raven. The clan was represented by the color purple, their sacred wood was maple, and their flag was blue with red stars. Each clan was responsible for teaching the life lessons for achieving higher levels of development for the upper world. There were 7 levels of development, just as there were clans. The Bird clan were responsible for teaching the importance of both the positive and negative events on the harmony of life. The Cherokee were very conscious of their clan heritage. They could readily tell of their degree of relationship to their relatives. Today, however, many Cherokee no longer know their clan. So, there you have it, a little history of the clan after which this community is named. And now, for some interesting, if not even a bit unusual, history related to Birdtown. It has been reported that there was once a Birdtown mound. An open field may represent the remnants of a Cherokee village, but a man-made knoll in the distance often represents so much more. There were once a number of platform-style mounds across the region that signified the heart of the Cherokee people. Ben Steer, an anthropology professor at Western Carolina University, said the following. It was common for a tribal townhouse, a community structure that could fit several hundred people, to be built on top of such sacred mounds. In a ceremonial act, the people would extinguish the fire in their homes and rekindle it, using the flame from the townhouse fire on top of the mound. The Kichua Mound and the Cowie Mounds. They may be the most known. However, there were a number of others. One of those others was reportedly here in Birdtown. Now, the mound at Cowie's secluded location probably served its community well when it was a cultural epicenter in the 1600s and 1700s. Today, it is said to still protect the sacred ground to this day from human encroachment. Not all mounds in the region, however, have been so fortunate. Western North Carolina was once home to dozens of these Cherokee platform mounds. Steer, however, went on to say that heavy excavation in the late 19th century into the early 20th century led to the demise of several of them. The earliest archaeological digs in western North Carolina were done in the 1870s by the Valentine brothers. This was to collect artifacts for their father Man's Valentine's Museum in Richmond, Virginia. At their father's direction, the Valentine brothers pillaged through mounds in Haywood, Swain, Jackson, and Cherokee counties, according to Steer's research. In their search for Cherokee artifacts, the brothers destructively excavated a number of mounds, reportedly including the one here at Birdtown. Before we do put Birdtown to rest, though, somebody does need to ask me this question. So, here's a building. Okay, yeah, it's a small little building, but what was it? I think it's a frame building. I really can't tell since I really can't park in the area to get a close up look. It surely does have a metal roof, either corrugated or standing seam. Looks more standing seam, but can't tell exactly without more of a closer inspection. Regardless, what was this thing used for? Anyone out there watching, did you ever own this thing? Why, you might ask? Who knows? People on the internet, they can go far and wide. Yes, they can hold many secrets. But now, that is all about there is in discussing Birdtown, a small little community that is today principally a part of Cherokee in Swain County. And with that said, you know the drill. We do have to move on to our next destination, wherever that might be.